Welcome to the cabin where I'm doing something I haven't done in here ever.
And you look lovely.
Thank you, Susan. I don't know if you're watching on YouTube, but if you are, you can probably see this. My forehead is super shiny.
Not
I don't know
anymore,
why.
it ain't.
I'm not sweaty. I'm not, but just these lights, man, they're reflecting off my forehead dome. And so being on Discover Wisconsin, you'd think I'd do makeup on the show, and I don't put makeup on myself. I guess I should, because now I'm like 34, 50, older.
We won't say your real age. Yeah, that's fine.
But I was alive when the Bucks last won a championship the first time.
Okay.
So, Susan offered to powder my forehead a little bit.
I did. We did
Throw
a little
foundation under the eyes, and
we did some under eye concealer. We did a little powder on the forehead. You should be watching this on YouTube. He looks lovely. I did a great job.
yes, thank you.
You need a tutorial.
And that is what our guests first saw when they joined our Zoom call.
It was just me putting makeup on here.
Yeah, my forehead was blinding them.
No
little
judgment,
powder
works
helped.
wonders.
Little powder helped. So
Truly.
Should we mention our new digs? This is the first time that
indeed,
Yes.
yes.
this new setup has been on video.
New makeup
Yes.
for the cabin as well.
Yes.
Just a whole makeover up in here.
We have a gorgeous new space. Shout out to our brand manager, Nicole, who I believe spent her 4th of July weekend transforming this space because she's an
Did
angel.
A lot of cool stuff. Yeah.
She did a lot of cool stuff in here. So if this is not a plug to watch us on YouTube, I don't know what is.
Well, there's snowshoes and more fish and a canoe paddle,
We have another bear
another bear,
to compliment
footballs.
Teddy the bear.
Bear claw behind Dave's head or something like that.
That's my head scratcher.
That's Teddy the bear.
I wish we could
Yes.
be there with you.
It is. She even put a fireplace in here. It is quite
my
the
gosh.
cozy
That's
space.
so sweet.
Very, very nice. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
even though you guys aren't here with us, your popcorn is.
That is true, Eric. Ready?
Yes.
We saved a little Faris Gourmet Popcorn for this exact
Amazing.
moment.
Because we are with
the best.
Allie and Jenny from Faris Popcorn. We should probably note that.
We should probably have done that faster.
That's who y'all are looking at or hearing from on the podcast. That isn't
Yeah.
the three usual suspects here.
Eric, would you like to do a popcorn cheers with me?
A popcorn what?
Cheers.
Oh, cheers? Sure.
Cheers,
Can you
me
get
man.
this on camera? There you go.
There we go.
Bonk. All right.
Between
Good
the
deal.
two camera angles.
Good deal. So
shucks.
we're gonna open this up and pop some popcorn in our mouths as we get ready for this episode of The Cabin. All right, as we get going here, I will
boy.
tell you.
This is,
That was a good
Oh, that's a
nightmare.
no.
That was a good.
This is my nightmare.
That's a no-no in broadcasting. Sorry.
Are you against
cabin-
popcorn ASMR?
That's why Dave is cringing.
This tastes like I'm drinking root beer.
It's good, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
How do
I
y'all do
love
that?
that
We'll get into that. We'll get into
Wait,
that.
I want to try one.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later. That was a good crunch, too.
Good popcorn crunches here. The Cabin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Counties Association, and this week we're featuring Greene County, the southwestern Wisconsin county famous for its Swiss heritage and ethnic cuisine, colorful festivals like Cheese Days and all the ones in New Glarus, and a lot of tasty local brews paired perfectly with award-winning cheeses. Now, the county itself was named for General Nathaniel Greene, who commanded the Southern Campaign in the American Revolutionary War. So we're going back quite a ways here. More than 22 miles of the Ice Age National Scenic Trail wind through Greene County. There's a lot of other state trails around through there. And I'm telling you, it is just, if you love farms, farm to table, charming little towns, Greene County, and it's so close too. I mean, it's like half an hour from Madison. It's maybe an hour and a half from Milwaukee. It is such a great place to go for day trips to check things out.
For sure.
And especially Monroe, that town square is as idyllic as it gets. So phenomenal place to visit. Greene County, just west of Rock County.
We love it.
Yeah.
So speaking of our popcorn cheers with Faris Gourmet Popcorn, so we had the root beer, which was, of course, a Jolly Good root beer,
Yeah.
which was amazing because the cabin is also presented by Jolly Good Soda.
Oh, my gosh.
Everyone get your cans ready in 3, 2, 1. The other part that Dave hates.
We have
It's
some
going
in
to
the
smell
other
like
room.
cherry.
Oh,
All right.
that great brings me back to my childhood.
I'm doing diet cream soda paired with the popcorn The root beer popcorn, root beer float.
Ooh,
Creamy
yeah.
root
Just
beer
wait till
float.
the cream soda popcorn comes out.
Insider secrets.
Inside information. We did it.
Ooh, yeah, we're going to need a couple bags of those sent as well.
We will always take more samples.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
That is,
Perfect.
oh yeah.
I love it. All right. Jolly Good Soda is available in 6 and 12 packs in select flavors at Festival Foods, Woodman's, Sendik's, Piggly Wiggly, Triggs, and Quality Foods. And we should know, Eric and I had to go to Woodman's today.
Yeah, we
for
restocked
these
at
Jolly
Woodman's. Yeah.
So they're there. Beautiful setup. And if you can't find Jolly Good at your local store, what do, Dave?
Stomp and yell. Cause a scene.
Can I use the phrase pull a Karen on this podcast?
I did.
You just
Okay.
did.
I did before.
You could edit it out. I don't know. You throw a fit, you get Jolly Good in that store.
Yeah.
And as you can all
What
again,
a wonderful message to young kids. Cry and whine and complain till you get what you want.
Give the rest of the people in the store something to film and put on the internet.
right. Maybe I should learn how to phrase this more positive way
Yeah.
before this is done.
You know you're in trouble when people.
Politely ask the
Politely
manager that
Until it
they,
becomes a
in their future
sensation.
stock decisions, consider Jolly Good Soda.
Make some
It would be
beautiful
in their
end
best
caps.
interest.
Yeah.
Exactly. I need to
Here's
work
a
on
tip.
making
If
this
people
more
are
positive.
around you are raising their cameras and switching them from pic to vid, you're out of control. That's the tip.
I love that. And if you can also, once again, if you're watching us on YouTube, which you should, we're really fun, you can see that all of us are indulging in a diet, Jolly Good, because it's caffeine-free, 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugars, which is exactly how we like it with our popcorn. And make sure to stay up to date on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts at Jolly Good Soda for all of their fun promotions.
You know, the cool thing at Woodman's, you could buy them by the individual can or in packs.
You could, and the individual cans at Woodman's were only 50 cents a pop.
It was a heck of a deal. And you can mix and match so well that way. I love that kind of flexibility.
We love it. Dave, are you ready to light this fire?
Let's do it.
Ooh, I can almost hear corn turning into popcorn.
So this is the part of the podcast where I introduce our campfire conversation based roughly off the script that Susan writes for me, which she has this time half written, half completed. So Susan, I'm just going to throw this to you. What are we doing here? Who are these people?
Sometimes I have a busy day, Dave, and I forget where I left off in the script, so I'm very sorry. All right, friends. Today we have two very
I got my
special
popcorn if you two want to argue.
guests. If we cause
Right?
our own scene. It's
I'm
already
just-
being filmed on
It's
YouTube.
like Facebook. I'm just here for the comments.
Thank you so much. All righty. We have Allie and Jenny from Faris Gourmet Popcorn, which is headquartered in Fond du Lac, correct?
Correct.
We love it. And if you haven't had some of their popcorn, I don't know what you're doing. It's delicious. But we were talking about how to really plan an entire weekend around Lake Winnebago because it's one of the largest, inland lakes for the state. It's absolutely beautiful. And we love everything that's like road tripping. Do we still use the term staycation? Is that still a popular thing?
I haven't heard it in a while,
do.
but
Okay,
we
did
can
we
bring it back.
Did we roll it out? Either way, we wanted to figure out the best way to show everyone a weekend around Lake Winnebago. And who better than the gals from Faris Gourmet Popcorn?
Right. I mean, you're in Fond du
Yeah,
Lac, which
that's
is bottom of the lake in French.
Yeah.
Eric, you
Yep.
gotta stop eating popcorn while we're recording this episode.
So, sorry, it's really good. So, being in Fond du Lac, you're in prime position to just take off from that southern end and counterclockwise, clockwise, however you want to do it, go around the lake and experience everything. And let's face it, the west side of the lake is very different from the east side of the lake.
That's
So we're
very
going to
true.
talk about all these different options you have
Very true.
around, which, by the way, Lake Winnebago is, in fact, the largest inland lake in the United States that's entirely within one state.
Oh.
Eric dropping fun facts over
That's a
here.
nugget.
Look at that. I love it. So, Allie and Jenny, why don't you tell us a little bit about the popcorn company, how you guys got started doing this, how long you've been making gourmet popcorn? Because I actually met Jenny in college, and we both were in Greek life at UW Oshkosh, and I had no idea that you were attached to this popcorn brand the entire time. Right on the lake. So, so give us the founding story.
So we're actually going in, next month is our anniversary month, and that will be our 11th year in business. We started as a high school marketing project for my marketing class. And I had to come up with a mock business plan. Had no idea what I was going to do, so naturally went to my parents to do the project for me.
Because you can admit that now.
Yes. And so I was sitting in their living room, and as long as we can remember, our dad would come home from work at the end of the day and make a big bowl of popcorn, just plain popcorn at home. And he was sitting there eating popcorn, and he looked down, and he's like, well, why don't we start a popcorn company? And I was like, no, I don't think you can do much with that. And
Why?
yeah, like, why would we? They at the time had, and they still do have, an industrial sewing company. So it was like complete opposite end of the spectrum from what we do now. And so we looked into it more. And then once you plant a seed in his head, he just like runs with it until he sees it through. And so he bought a popcorn machine. And I had
Not just a plug-in popcorn machine, like
a
commercial
giant
popcorn. Yeah. 10 gallons. Yeah.
And then I turned my mock business plan into a real business plan, and he and I kind of started playing around with things and different flavors. Our first flavor that we made was green apple candied popcorn. Yeah.
That's a heck of a place to start.
That actually sounds real tasty, though.
Yeah, and then once we got that down, we went to the basics, like caramel corn, yellow cheddar.
Yeah, you think it would be the opposite.
Yeah. So then I graduated, went to college, and he kind of just like kept it afloat a little bit, but was still mainly focusing on their sewing company. And then Allie moved back from New York in 2015 and started working full time, and then really started growing it. And then we expanded into the location that we're at now, which is 3 times the size of our old building. And then I started working here full time a year after Allie moved back. And
Now we basically manage the whole popcorn company, so my dad doesn't have to deal with it. He just does quality control.
That's his favorite title, I'm sure.
Not just.
Yeah. He keeps us in check when our ideas are getting a little too out of hand.
He's still the boss.
But yeah, now we're located in over 3,000 stores nationwide, and we do everything here. So Allie does a lot of the production and like our finance work, stuff that I don't understand, and I do a lot of the marketing and like the more pretty things that I get to like
Stuff that I'm not good at.
post a lot about, make it look really good and make people want to eat it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to balance each other out.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths.
Yeah.
We love it.
So it's been fun to grow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as we keep munching on some popcorn to Dave's
Further away from the
dismay.
microphone.
All right, so you are in Fond du Lac, which, as we pointed out, literally means the foot of the lake. So let's start talking about how we can plan an entire weekend around Lake Winnebago. And I believe this will be Allie and Jenny and Eric really taking the reins on this one.
No problem.
So, and it looks like we're going to talk about this episode in an actual, like, day-long activity. So, hit us with some favorite breakfast spots around the lake that people can find.
All right. I have 3 main ones that I really like to go to, and Allie.
Well, I should say, I still live in Fond du Lac. Jenny is in Oshkosh, and Neenah a lot.
Yeah,
so you're like more upper the lake,
and I have friends who live in
lower
Appleton
and eastern the lake, so we kind of can put all of our thoughts together.
Yeah, my husband and I like to go loop the lake a lot, so we like to check out different spots. But the breakfast spots, my top one would be Acoca Coffee, and that's in Appleton. They have 2 locations now, actually. They have one downtown. That's their original location that they just completely renovated and expanded into the storefront also next to them. And then they have one that's called Acoca in the Flats, and it's in an old train repair warehouse building. So it's super cool. You can see the tracks that used to go right in. They have a giant garage door that opens up. Ton of different like craft coffee and espresso, not cocktails, drinks. Getting a little too early.
They don't have a
We'll get to those.
And then just like some little eats, like trendier foods, I guess, like the avocado toast, different kinds of omelets, the
Acai bowls,
all the bowls you can think of. So yeah, that's a really good hot spot. And then going down the lake on the west side is Pilora's Café in Oshkosh. They have the best granola I think I've ever had. Yeah, they make
I
their
can
own
second
granola.
that. That's tasty.
Yeah, have you been there?
Oh, absolutely. That's a tasty spot.
So good.
How do you have the best granola?
I don't know
what they
how
do
you
it.
have it, but they have it.
So like extra cinnamon on it or something? Or
Maybe nutmeg. I don't know what it is. Whatever they use.
Like not too sugary.
No, it's not too sugary. It's not.
It's a talent. There
Yeah.
should be a granola contest.
And they sell it. They sell it in bulk.
Yeah.
So like that is.
It's tasty.
And
Really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's a really cute spot. I don't think many people know about because it's kind of like it's downtown-ish. It's on Main Street, but you have to go north Main Street in order to find it. So it's
closer to
not
campus, kind of?
Further away from campus.
Further
away
from
from
campus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you start heading toward the highway off of Main.
Oh, so that far north. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a. I feel like it's a secret in Oshkosh, but it's a good spot.
Not anymore because our podcast
This
has
podcast
so many,
blew it wide open.
Yep.
They're
You're
gonna have to be
welcome,
making double
Pilora.
batches of granola.
Yeah, but they also have really a lot of good other food, and they have all these different salads that they make, like they have grape, and I think it's mayo, but I don't want to say it's mayo because I don't like
It's
that.
like like the Jello fluff,
Yes.
Oh,
but they
yeah.
call that a salad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we're in the
Oh,
Midwest.
That's like what our grandma makes for holidays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they add mayonnaise or whatever cream base to like all of their fruit and throw some nuts in there, and they're like it's salad, but it's good.
We drench
Nice.
potatoes in mayonnaise and call it a salad.
Yeah.
That's just what we
Yeah.
do.
I'm
The
not
Midwest is a
complaining, I'll eat
special
it.
place. I saw a meme the other day that was like, I like the part of the country where they put mayonnaise on it and call it a salad. Welcome.
Oh, they'll do that down south too, don't
Yeah.
Okay.
you? Wouldn't believe it. So, and then I see another place that I've seen billboards for it, and I have not stopped in. I've heard good things. So, tell me
The
more
sweet and
about
salty pig?
Yeah, the sweet and salty pig in the FDL.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. So it's really hard to find a breakfast place here, actually. And this one's great because they really revolve around like all pig products. I don't know how to say it. Like
It's
there's
not a shocker
bacon,
considering.
pork.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think almost
pork
everything
belly,
has
bacon.
like bacon or pork, some type of pork.
But also
Stuff.
gluten-free options, and you can
Yeah.
have meatless options too.
Yeah.
If you want.
So they are open all day, but on the weekends they open earlier for breakfast. I really like their chicken and waffles, which is like smothered in like sounds just smothered in stuff, and it's really good.
Yeah. Chicken
It's a
waffles
great
is the
waffle.
best.
Yeah. But it was these two girls
Their quinoa
that
still looks
were chefs at a different restaurant here and branched off and started their own restaurant together. And it's just a couple years old, but they're really growing fast.
Well, the name certainly grabs your attention.
For
Does.
sure.
It's very eclectic on the inside.
Super
also.
creative
Yeah.
food items. So it's fun because if you can't tell from like our popcorn, we like funky flavors. So it's cool to go there and try out, different things.
Yeah.
Nice.
A quick side question then what is one of the funkiest flavors you've come up with that maybe you didn't move forward with, but I mean, how adventurous have you gotten? Because I've seen some really unique combinations here.
We have a chicken and waffles one actually.
Really?
Oh, that's funny.
Speaking of chicken and waffles, we have a chicken and waffles popcorn. It's one of my favorite foods.
That's
Very
awesome.
weird, but very good.
Yeah.
It tastes just like it.
Yeah.
It's,
It's-
a
It's sweet and
maple
salty
a
at the same
chicken.
time too then.
It is.
It's a
And
kettle corn
savory from the
base.
sound of it.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling when you taste it. You're like, what is this?
It's probably like the weirdest one.
Yeah,
Right.
we actually did a taste test over Christmas. We have an advent calendar that we do with all of our popcorn. And so we did a taste test, and we had like 15 people that we had them guess the flavors, and chicken and waffles was one of the flavors. So
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like I'm eating like a Salisbury steak or some kind of a steak dinner. Yeah, I was like, close, I guess.
Kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, just a few breakfast spots that you can pop around.
Well, our day itinerary is just getting started with breakfast. What are we doing after breakfast?
It looks like we're working on burning off breakfast with some activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're still hungry, in which case you can go. You can go to any of the farmers markets in the Fond du Lac, Oshkosh, or Appleton area. I don't know if I can say this on here, but I
think they
kind
kinda
of
get, like, better
as you go up the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like Fond du Lac's just getting you into the city.
Start from the bottom and go to the top.
Yep.
Don't start from the top and go to the bottom.
Right.
Started from the bottom and now we're here.
And now we're here
Yes.
in Appleton.
And really, each of those towns, each of those cities get larger as you go north.
They
so
do.
it would make sense that they draw from a wider variety of markets, too.
Yeah.
So-
Like different food vendors, produce. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like even
Talent.
once you get up to Appleton's farmers market, you have like all the different kinds of art booths that you can see too, art vendors and like musicians. There are more musicians up there, just like kind of on the
well,
side.
Mahler music, right?
Yeah,
So-
the mild music is a lot of fun.
So you've got the farmers markets, and Wisconsin. We had talked about this with another guest recently. Wisconsin's quite the golfing mecca, and a lot of people think about clubs around Sheboygan. They'll think about the ones around Green Lake. Not as much necessarily in the area around Lake Winnebago, but there are quite a few really, really good options.
Yeah, Allie's husband comes from a really big golfing family.
Yeah.
So,
Like all
Allie,
So you're up on this quite a bit. Okay.
Allie knows a lot
I'm
more
not
about.
good though.
Yeah, we've tried.
I'll ride and supply the drinks, but don't ask me to hit a ball because it won't go very far.
Yeah.
Just bring Caddyshack quotes. It'll be fine.
I tried learning. We know a lot of that. There are a lot. Like Oshkosh has the Oshkosh Country Club, Farview. Fond du Lac has
There's a 3 in Fond du Lac,
South Hills, Rolling
4
Meadows.
with the par 3s. Yeah. There's South Hills Country Club, Whispering Springs, and Rolling Meadows. And then the par 3 for like the beginners or, the more laid back golfers. There's Oak Green.
Yeah.
That's where I get my best scores.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that meant when she was like, "Oh, there's the par 3." I was like, "What?" I don't know what it means though. And then like Farview, and there used to be
Neenah.
there's what is it Westridge?
Westridge.
There used to be the Bridgewood, but I think they closed. But I don't know. Definitely the Westridge in Neenah.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, if you want to swing the wrenches, you have a lot of options on the
Yeah.
west side of Lake Winnebago.
And then even if you go over near High Cliff area, there's the High Cliff Golf Club. I think it's called North Shore Golf Club.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you drive right
You drive
past
through
it.
it, yeah.
Approaching, yeah.
Oh, that's true. And
In
you're
order
into the
to get
park,
up
don't you?
the-
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like that little community of space in High Cliff, which we'll talk about later. But
Oh, yeah, we'll be talking a lot about that. But if we're staying on the west side, we're getting near Oshkosh with some of these things. EAA, we've had EAA, and I believe Whitman Regional Airport, which is Oshkosh's airport's official name.
Yes.
In terms of takeoff and landing operations, sometimes it's the world's busiest airport during EAA.
Yeah.
it is. It's
I feel
actually
like only
pretty
during
wild.
EAA.
It's the largest aviation show in the world. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of fun. You can go inside to the museum, and they have like some kids activities that you can do. Check out all the airplanes, some different apparel, like the pilot's apparel. I think you can even
They have
like.
that cool fireworks show.
They do have a cool fireworks show.
With
Yeah.
the plane semi-jet thing.
Oh, the school bus.
that
It's
like-
a school bus.
Oh, I
It's
thought
like
it was
super,
a
this
semi.
jet school bus that goes super fast.
Yeah. They stick an engine on the back of it.
Yeah, they do some really wild stuff there. It is a cool museum. You can't miss it because there's these huge planes mounted along I-41 as you're going by. That's right where you find them. And there's also a Wisconsin Veterans Museum just to the south of
Yes.
that. So a couple cool places to check out right along the highway there in Oshkosh.
Absolutely.
And then when you go into town, yes, there is UW Oshkosh. Susan, you went there. Jenny, you went there. My mom went there. But the city has a lot of really cool stuff to check out. And the park that's right on the water is one of them with a lot of great things to see, and that's Menominee Park.
Yeah, Menominee Park has so many different activities that you can do. The zoo, they have the zoo that you can walk through. There's always like a tortoise that's walking around with you. Kids
Well, I hope
love
you're
it.
walking faster than the tortoise, but
I hope
okay.
so,
We
but
hope.
I don't know. They also have the playground and like tennis and pickleball courts that you can play at. The playground is actually right next to an outdoor exercise area that they recently just installed along their walking path that they have that goes throughout the park too. And the walking path is actually, it's really nice. They have, it starts like near the zoo and you can walk along the perimeter of the lake, and then it circles all the way back around and goes around the entire park. So
You can work off your breakfasts.
yeah, walk
There
over
you
there
go.
to the farmer's market. Yeah.
And actually, that would be a good time to discuss lunch then.
Yes.
I think it's a great time to discuss lunch. Hit us with some lunch spots.
Yeah, you have a couple of options here that I see.
We do. In
Recommendations.
Oshkosh, there's TJ's Harbor, which is right on the water. So especially if you're boating, if you're on the lake, you can just pull right up and have some lunch there. Or you can boat all the way up to Appleton. And then on the river in Appleton is Fratello's. Well, Fratello's has a lot.
There's also the brewery.
Oh, Fox River Brewing Company is in
Yeah.
Oshkosh.
Oh.
But they're affiliated
go
with
there.
Fratello's in Appleton.
They are affiliated. Yeah, they used to be called Fratello's.
Yep.
Oh.
In
Oh, that's right.
Oshkosh
This is
as
the
well.
Appleton
And
one.
now that's strictly Fox River Brewing, and we'll get into more
Yes.
breweries shortly. But Fratello's, and you're talking about the one that's right by the dam on the river, right?
Yeah, so you can overlook the dam.
I was just there a couple weeks ago. And it is so cool to go there. First of all, their food's really good.
Really good.
And the bar, it's a very long bar, and there's a long row of windows. And if you can get the view in between all the bottles of vodka and whiskey that are on the shelves up there, you get this awesome view of the Fox River and one of the dams that the water runs through, because Lake Winnebago is about 150 feet higher than the waters of Green Bay. And the Fox River flows north, which is an unusual thing on our continent. And so all those dams stair-step the water down, and that's one of the first dams. And so you can see pelicans. I saw pelicans last time I was there, and it was really cool. That is a wonderful place for lunch or dinner, really, but it's a great lunch spot.
Have you ever had the crunchy chicken salad?
So good.
That's what Ann had, yeah.
Yeah. Do you
She
know
had
what
the
it's
crunchy-
rolled in?
Oh, was it beer bag? No, what was it? I don't know.
Jenny, do you know
Popcorn?
what I'm going to say?
Is it popcorn?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Captain
It's
Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
It's the chicken. It's so good.
That sounds
That's a
amazing.
great idea.
It's
It's a-
chicken waffles.
Yeah, sounds like
More
it
chicken
would.
waffles. Yeah. Next time you're up there, get that like crunchy chicken salad. It's
Ooh.
really tasty.
Yeah, I'll have to. Geez, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it has like
Yeah.
that just enough the sweetness to it. And then you're like, what is that? I recognize the flavor. No crunch berries
yeah.
though. Just
Eric,
the
I
Captain
like
Crunch.
your guess.
No
No
crunch berries.
popcorn though. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Try that.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, gee, I wonder what it might be.
It wasn't a trick question. It was really just quite funny.
Yes,
But
delicious.
while we're on the topic, though, I would like to take a quick moment to actually really highlight the waterfront dining in Oshkosh specifically, because they have so many cool spots. Of course, we've already talked about Fox River Brewing Company, which we love. And you also mentioned TJ's Harbor, which I didn't even realize that you could just go up on a boat and dock there and have
right.
lunch, which is so great. But a couple others are Ground Round at River's Edge, which is really beautiful.
That's
and
right
on
at
the
the
river.
Best Western
Yeah.
premiere. That's there on the river, which is
Super
a
beautiful.
great place to stay too if you're doing more
Yes.
than a day
Yeah.
trip.
Oh,
And they
absolutely.
have the
that-
convention centers right next to it. It's connected.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of the heart of everything.
It is.
in that downtown activity.
Yeah, it's right there. And then it also kind of, not really across the street, but on the same bit on the other bridge is Beckett's, which is a little bit more like upscale, but also still really beautiful. And then the last one, again, it's like all in the same little pocket
Yeah.
of that river is in the Dockside Tavern
Yep.
on the other side, which is also really tasty food and much more like I mean, you get something different
Yeah.
at each of those, even though you can see them all in one sitting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they cluster. It's a good thing.
I
that
know,
way.
but it's like one is tavern food and one is like upscale food. And yeah, it's a really great collection of waterfront dining in Oshkosh, which is super cool.
Yeah.
very
And they're all
nice.
within like a half-mile radius or walking distance to each other. You can walk over the bridge to each of them.
Yeah,
Or
which is
just down the
great.
river.
And maybe this might be a good time to go into the breweries, right? Because
We love good brewery.
you were talking about the area in downtown Oshkosh. Just to the south of there is one brewery called the Fifth Ward Brewing Company, which is the second one in Oshkosh with that name. They resurrected it not too long ago. Quick aside, Artie and Ed's Drive-In is near there. We'll talk about drive-ins
We
too
will.
coming up. And then also in Oshkosh, because Fox River Brewing it's right on the water before Lake Butamore. And, you know, it's in a very key spot right along Highway 21. You can watch the bridge go up and down as you partake. Their Blue Bobber beer is becoming legendary, especially because they put blueberries in it while you drink it. And then Bare Bones Brewery, which is a little bit west. It's not really on Lake Winnebago. It's just off Butamore, but on the, how do you pronounce that trail? Wiouwash?
The Wiouwash, and you can actually jump on the Wiouwash trail if you are biking, or it's a little adventurous to walk, but if you wanted to walk it, if you wanted to bike from
That's really long.
Fox River, yeah. Well, our region, it's 22 miles long, the Wiouwash Trail, but if you were at Fox
Not
River Brewing
walking
Company, there's a jump-on spot from Fox River Brewing Company that you can just get on the trail and go all the way over to Bare Bones.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's probably what, maybe 3 miles at that point,
Yeah.
3 or 4? something like that.
I think
so it's not
is
too
like
bad.
3 miles. Yeah.
Burn a few calories while you take in the beers.
See, the whole loop sounds like a great biking trail.
Just let it pump through you.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So, the Oshkosh has a pretty busy brewing scene.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
All of a sudden, really, because I don't think any of those were around more than 6-7 years ago. Fox River was, I guess.
Fox River was, but
Bare Bones, maybe 6 years ago. Fifth Ward, maybe 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And as you go north, there are several more. And there's a couple in Neenah, Lion's Tail Brewing, which is a cool place in an old bank building downtown, right along the main drag. And then there's another one. Jenny, I don't know if you've heard of this one, but it's called Barrel 41.
I'm a little familiar.
Okay.
oh, do you know that one?
Yeah, my husband owns that one.
He's the head brewmaster.
He is the head brewmaster there. We're a fan of all the breweries, so we frequent them all.
Well, it's always good to do a little research.
It is, yeah.
And really, even
41
as
is great.
as you go up, Barrel 41 is great. And I love that they're named after the highway.
Yeah, they actually named it that because it's a group of friends who own it, and they were all kind of scattered around in Wisconsin, out of Wisconsin, and then Highway 41 is the road that brought them all back together, and their primary focus is barrel-aged beers, so Barrel 41.
And they just did like
Perfect.
their 41st barrel.
They did. They just did their
that was
41st
cool.
barrel. Yeah.
Oh,
That
wow.
was really cool.
Yeah.
We're
And
full
very
of fun
cute.
facts.
And to be super road geeky, I-41 is near there, but the original US 41 through Neenah is on Commercial Street, which is exactly the road the brewery is on. So even with the history, it's in there. And if you follow 41 up into Appleton, you're on the north edge of Lake Winnebago, and you have a couple more options. McFleshman's and Appleton Beer Factory, which are kind of on the same block. They're like right behind each other in the downtown strip of Appleton. And boy, those are two fun places to check out, too, with some
And I
great
just
craft
thought
beers.
There's also Stone Arch, which is
Yeah. How did I miss Stone Arch? And that's
I
right
don't know, I
by
just
where
thought of it.
Fratello's is.
Silly.
That's right
Yes.
by Fratello's.
Yeah.
And is that an old, it's an old power building or
I
something
think
from the
that's
18...
what it is. It's a really neat building.
Well, the building is like old stone and rock, and I mean...
That's where I was just at that comedy show like 2
Yeah.
weeks
Yeah, they
ago.
do have
It's
a comedy show there.
beautiful venue.
Yeah.
It is, and it's kind of on an island or something in
Yeah, it's a
between,
little peninsula.
fingers of the Fox River. You have to go
it's like
down
a little
into
pocket.
it.
Yeah.
And they have really good beers. They have a really good cheesy mac and beer cheese
Yeah.
thing too. Yeah,
That does sound good.
Oh my god.
It is a great place to. It's a wonderful place to carbo load. And,
Before you get on that bike trail, right?
but between
Yep.
and
Wait,
after, if
is
you're
the beer mac and cheese flavored, or is the mac and cheese beer
the
flavored?
mac and cheese is flavored with lots of cheeses, and I think there's a little bit of beer
They throw
cheese
some
in
beer
some
in
of it or
it.
something. Whatever the combination was, I had it was really good.
Nice.
Either
And
sounds delicious.
When they're reaching between the bar and the kitchen, they pass stuff back and forth through they chiseled through some rock and stone.
Yeah.
To get between the kitchen and the bar. So that's kind of cool, too. You're like, if we're ever in a tornado or a nuclear bomb hits Appleton, this is where you want to be.
There's your insider
Because
tip
it all-
that you're listening for.
Yeah.
If
If you're a doomsdayer, there's your advice right
I feel
there
like we have
for
so
Appleton.
many insider tips in this episode.
Right. I think the breweries are pretty cool because they're like all friends. Didn't they just do a
They
collaborative
are.
beer too?
They
A lot
did.
of them. In the
oh my
Fox
gosh, shoot, what is
River.
it? It's a cucumber kolsch.
Oh yeah.
All of the breweries in the Fox Valley came together, kind of like we made it through the pandemic beer.
Yeah.
Nice.
And,
That's
So they
hilarious.
all brewed it together at Bare Bones, actually.
Like they're all these burly guys, but they're all like so cute.
Yeah.
They're really just teddy bears.
They are. They're all friends. They all just hang out together. But yeah, they made a cucumber kolsch recently. It's really good. So you should definitely try it.
That sounds
That's
good.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, we now have consumed a lot of beer.
Yeah.
All these breweries.
Should we get back to burning things off at parks?
Well, sure,
Yeah.
let's do
'Cause
that.
We talked about Menominee Park and Oshkosh already. We
Which
can
is
double
beautiful.
back quick to Fond du Lac because one of the coolest parts of Fond du Lac is you are at the foot of the lake, and that's never more obvious than when you're at Lakeside Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is such a
Lakeside
great
Park is
place for activities and winter and summer, really.
Yeah.
So much goes on there.
Yeah, in spring we have Walleye Weekend, which is a big fishing festival, and it's 3 days, 3 days. There's live music, that's huge. But just every day they have a great kids family area, and They have a splash pad that was just put in a couple of years ago. There's a petting zoo. There are like deer you can watch if you can't find them out just roaming the highway. And they have this old train. It's the same train and carousel that was there when we were little. And the rides are like super cheap.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much.
They're like a quarter.
Yeah, something like that. My daughter
That's a
just
price
went
point
on
we
for the
like.
first time last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just really fun and nostalgic. There's a fun gazebo, water fountain, the lighthouse. You can climb it.
Climb the lighthouse. You can climb up to the top of the lighthouse. The lighthouse is actually like on a peninsula that's slowly falling into the water more.
Oh my.
But
Yeah.
it's a little
So
dangerous.
climb it at your own risk.
So-
yeah, it is. Well, it's not like gonna just drop in, hopefully drop into the water right away. But
It's really
So
pretty,
it's sinking?
it is slowly sinking.
So the view gets worse every year. 'Cause
Kind of like,
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Better
down.
get there quick.
Yeah. But it's funny because so many photographers try to take cool pictures because it's like right in the marina at Lakeside Park. And so it's a really neat spot to see. But so many photographers try to get a perfect picture of it. But no matter what they do, the reflection's always slightly off from where the lighthouse is.
How do you know that? That's so weird.
I don't know why I know that. Just a random fact I know. Because that's what needs to be stored in my brain.
So as we're talking about parks, let's go to the opposite end of the lake. We'll go around the east side this time, up 151 and 55. Past all those windmills, there's a ton of windmills on the east side of Lake Winnebago because it's on that Niagara escarpment. And you've got those high cliffs. And guess what you end up at the northeast corner of the lake then?
High Cliff State Park.
Indeed. Which is absolutely gorgeous. There are so many cool rock formations and exposed bluffs, and the views from up there. I mean, the cool thing about Lake Winnebago is it's big enough where you get nice sunset views from the east side of it. And so tell us some of your favorite things about High Cliff.
I'm not a good one for that.
I personally just like that I can go there with my dogs. They're dog friendly, so you can take them on all of the trails. I can just let them run around as we're walking through. After you get done, not to keep going back to food, but they have an ice cream shop that's right down below. You really like food, apparently.
Yeah.
But at High Cliff, all of their trails, they have so many trails to choose. Yeah. They have so many trails to choose from to go through and different difficulties. And then you can always kind of veer off the trail a little bit. You can also go camping, biking. I think they have like snowshoeing and cross-country skiing that you can do in the winter.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's so many different options. There's always new things to do and look at when you're there.
Yeah, I really want to spend more time there. I was there for the first time last summer, but we were just with people with like strollers and stuff like that. So we didn't get
Not
to
very
see a lot of the
accommodating.
trails, and we kind of just hung out in the picnic area. But I was looking around me like, man, I want to get up on those trails.
They're cool. They're very
Darn you,
extensive,
strollers.
and the views are great. You should
Yeah.
go up on the climbing tower if you can. And
It's very underrated, I think.
It is.
Especially people in this area or in Appleton, especially take it for granted. It's really pretty.
a lot of people rave about like.
on there. I need to go.
I would compare it to Devil's Lake
Yes.
in terms
You know
of
what? When you get to the one perfect high spot that everyone takes a photo at, it is very it's very Devil Park
Devil's Lakey.
esque.
Yeah.
I really struggled with saying that, but you got what I meant.
Got it.
So let's go quickly to a couple of museums, and these are all on the west side of the lake again, but there's a couple key museums, and we talked about, like on here we have the Paint Art Center, for example, which also has beautiful botanical gardens
Love.
in Oshkosh.
That's
And
a favorite of mine.
That's like a couple
Yeah.
blocks from the Fox River Brewing Company, too, by the way.
Right between
Yeah.
campus and the Fox River Brewing Company.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah,
right next
yeah.
to each other.
Yeah.
So that place is beautiful, and then there's
And
also
we
a
like
cool
going there
museum.
in winter for their like nutcracker.
Yeah.
They decorate the whole museum in nutcrackers. Different
That is
nutcracker
really cute.
Christmas
displays.
trees,
Yeah.
nutcrackers, all around ballerinas.
It's really pretty.
I think they even do a ballerina show or a ballet.
I think so too. And they're also kitty corner from the public museum, which is
Yes.
also really cool. There's
Yeah.
a lot happening in that corner of Oshkosh.
Which is kind of random because it's literally just like houses surrounding it. Like you have a
But
bunch
beautiful
of
houses.
very Victorian style houses all around that area. And then the entire Pain Art Center is just kind of enclosed in this stone wall that they have built around the property. So it's a really sweet spot to visit.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. And then kind of a cool place up in Neenah, the Bergstrom Mahler Museum of Glass. Mahler, something like that. Bergstrom's a pretty big name up there.
Yeah.
And they have like the world's largest collection of glass paperweights and just some other cool, unique designs to check out. So that's not far from Barrel 41 and Lion's Tail.
No.
Since now we give all our directions in terms of where the nearest brewery is.
That is our new way to give direct. Well, remember that one review we got that said, please stop.
That's true.
Just doing all the street names.
But they know they're all near Lake Winnebago. And then, of course, you can't the Harry Houdini Museum and the Hearthstone Historic House Museum in Appleton.
Yep.
Some really cool places to check out as well. A lot of great history around Lake Winnebago.
It is. Should we quickly wrap up with like a dinner and a dessert spot?
Well, let's hit up. There's a couple of drive-ins and sweet spots to talk about. Drive-ins can be dinner or dessert, but I'll give two quick shout-outs. One is Artie and Ed's Drive-In, which is a classic in Oshkosh. Been open since 1948, within sight of Lake Winnebago, right on 45. You got the roller skating car hops still to this day, which I can't believe. And then, of course, there's Gillies in Fond du Lac.
Yes.
Right on the main street.
One of our favorite.
Gillies
And
is
that's-
one of my favorites.
That's open through much of the winter.
They
Most
used to be
drive-ins are
closed
not.
more, and
Right.
the past few years they've started opening earlier and earlier. Like it
Yeah.
I
used
went there
to
in
be
February.
Now they're just
Yeah.
closed. I think now they just closed from
December and January.
I think
For
they closed
Christmas
after
trees.
Thanksgiving, and then
Yeah.
they're closed through December, and then they reopen at the end of January, I believe.
So that's pretty cool because most
Yeah,
places
it
wait
used to
till
be
late
closed
spring.
longer than that.
It's really nice, and I think they realize that like a lot of people are home. It's like a
Yeah.
nostalgic thing for people to visit here in Fond du Lac, at least.
I mean,
Oh,
I ice
absolutely.
cream any time of year.
Same.
Sorry, custard.
They are frozen custard.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do good little burgers too. So.
Yes.
Oh my
Really
God,
good
their Gilly burgers.
Allie's pregnant, and she's been craving a Gilly burger, which is
Their
like
Gilly
a sloppy
burger is
Joe.
a sloppy Joe.
Yeah.
It's something about the bun they use, and and you can even in winter when they are closed, they let you buy like their Gilly burger meat, so like their sloppy Joe mixture.
Which throws you off so much because they put it in the same containers they put their ice cream in.
So it's like,
And so
what are you
I opened it up.
Sounds like a
getting so
prank in the
excited for their
making.
custard. Yes. I'm like,
Nice.
what is this? What happened to my chocolate?
Oh my gosh.
A
Honestly,
staple. It's very good.
Yeah.
what a ringing endorsement when that's what a pregnant woman is like craving. I love it. Well, I'm going to give one last shout out for a tasty treat back in Oshkosh, which is Hughes Chocolate, which is probably, if you don't know about it, you won't find it because it is still in their home. Like they make it in the basement.
Oh, wow.
It's creepy, kind of.
You can't find it easily. It is like tucked away in their home. It's in the basement. It's also not open in the summer because they can't. It's physically so hot they can't handle the production in the summer. You can only buy it in the winter. It is in the basement of their home. I have never tasted anything better than some of those chocolates. So that is definitely
chocolates.
yeah. Oh, so good. So
The
good.
first time we went there, we were with our brother-in-law who is from New York, and our parents took us there.
And only like 4 people can fit in the basement.
No, 2 people comfortably can fit in their basement. The rest have to stand on the stairs,
Yeah.
going down to the basement.
But that's what makes it fun.
It's so fun.
That's awesome.
And at first we pulled up and we're like, where are we going? And he's like, are you going to your friend's house for this chocolate place right now?
It's in a residential area.
Yeah, you're right. It is the best chocolate ever. It's so good.
It is so good, and it has that scarcity, and it's
Yes.
just that little bit offbeat.
That sounds
Scarcity is
like the
important.
ultimate hidden gem.
Ooh, very good. All right, 3 quick dinner spots. And
Rapid
then
fire.
And then we'll close it out with one other cool spot. So let's
All
do
right,
the 3
rapid
dinner
fire.
spots.
We'll go all the way around the lake for this one. We'll start in Fond du Lac. Theo's, right downtown Fond du Lac. Steak, fish, anything, Mediterranean. It's what you need.
Ooh.
Village Hearthstone in Hilbert on the east side of the lake has the best wood-fired pizza ever. They have a giant stone oven, whatever you call it, that they put the pizza in. Super cool. It's right in the middle of the restaurant. And then up in Appleton is Fres, and that's like a tapas style.
Small plates.
Allie just went there actually recently. Really
Very
cool. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, and then of course the last one cool place.
What's your gem?
I wanted to say.
Can you go to
Fond du Lac? Right?
Faris Gourmet Popcorn.
Faris Gourmet Popcorn.
Where
and
can
treats.
people?
Yeah, load us up with your address.
Yeah, where can people find you guys?
Well, our physical address is 770 West Scott Street in Fond du Lac. Otherwise, we have
Which is Highway 23.
Kind of.
kind of.
Yeah.
It's right near it. Right near
It
it.
is. We're parallel to it. Yeah.
And right
Basically
near the
off.
frontage road.
We're so inconveniently located. And then we have our online store, and we can ship anywhere. That's farispopcorn.com, Faris.
Yes.
And then Instagram and Facebook, we are Faris Gourmet Popcorn.
Perfect.
We love it. We'll definitely check them out, especially when they do some crossovers with Jolly Good Soda and popcorn.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's our new summer
Amazing.
feature. We have at least 3 coming. Root
Ooh.
beer has hit the shelf so far. The next one,
Cream soda will be coming out.
We love insider information.
Yeah.
Well, Allie and Jenny, thank you so much for being on this episode of The Cabin and teaching
thank
people
you for
how to do
having
a
us.
little
so fun.
trip around Lake Winnebago.
Yes, and thanks for the popcorn.
Yes, thank you for the popcorn.
We'll
Always.
be sending more
More where that
All right. Look forward to it.
We won't say no.
for all the crunching needs that Dave does not need.
Just to make Dave cringe.
Perfect.
so fun.
Awesome.
All
Thanks so
right.
much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, I haven't been eating popcorn the entire time, so I am very hungry for some popcorn.
I could see you like audibly cringing every time we took a bite. I'm so sorry.
It'll be a fun edit coming up.
So
All
sorry,
right.
Audio Dave.
But before we wrap things up here, we have a message from our friends at Focus on Energy. We're entering the last stretch of our summer season, and it's important to keep cool and save even in the beginning of September. And did you know as much as, I mean, I'm sure you guys probably know this at this point because I've said it before, but did you, the listener, know that as much as half the energy used in your home goes to heating and cooling? Well, our friends at Focus on Energy provided a few tips for AC maintenance to help keep costs down and increase energy efficiency. So a good tip from them is to get an annual preseason checkup. And if you need help finding a professional to take a look at your AC system, Focus on Energy can help you find a qualified contractor and cash incentives. Just look under the Trade Ally tab on focusonenergy.com. And you can also find more tips at focusonenergy.com/blog. to save those dollars and enjoy Wisconsin.
And Lake Winnebago.
Lake Winnebago. And now it's time for the review of the week.
All right. Yay.
Which is coming to us from YouTube, which isn't so much a review as much as it was a comment. But you know what? I'll take it anyway.
Yeah.
This is from Lenny on episode 76, which was Hidden Gems of the Milwaukee Suburbs with Alex Worley.
Ah, yes.
Which really was just this person, really commenting that they were also very excited because they were born and raised in Brookfield and graduated from Brookfield East with Alex, which is very fun. We do love that. And I'm not saying that I wasn't super excited by this comment. I'm just saying if people wanted to leave us more sweet and loving reviews.
Thanks for the podcast. That's fine with
They
me.
said thank you for the podcast.
I
And to that,
know.
we say thank you, Lenny.
We say thank you, Lenny. I'm just saying.
Of course, the Apple Podcasts do help the show
It does.
get in front of more eyes. So those are always appreciated as
Yes,
much
we
as
do
we love
appreciate-
YouTube comments.
Yeah, we
do.
appreciate reviews on that. And, of course, the nice part is you can hear us on almost anything.
That's true. That is
very-
true. Honestly, like Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify.
Yeah.
I can't even think of other
Pretty much
streaming platforms.
everywhere.
But pretty much anywhere you
It's
listen to
kind of
podcasts.
nice. So, however your favorite way is to access us, including on YouTube, make sure you join us next week.
Today's episode of The Cabin was hosted by Eric Paulson, Dave Janis, and me, Susan Foch, with guest hosts of Allie Faris Hilbert and Jenny Faris Sharpless. Produced by me, an audio tape with video editing by Cooper Steele, and social media by me and Courtney Haas. The Cabin is a production brought to you by Discover Media Works. To learn more, head to discovermediaworks.com, and don't forget to leave us that review. And me, Susan Foch, with guest hosts of No, I'm done. I'm done. Just keep what's in there. I can't do it.
I believe in you.